Okay, where do I begin? Sometimes, very rarely, people think that I have things to say that are worth hearing. And in those rare instances, I am invited to go speak, whether it's a conference or to young people. It's predominantly to young people because that bar, that threshold is low. No offense to kids, but come on. We're kind of dumb. You know, I was dumb. No, kids are the future. They're smart. They're the best. Forget I said that. The point I'm trying to make. Recently, my high school reached out to me. The varsity hockey coach reached out to me. He reached out and said, "Hey, man, I've been watching your videos. I love what you're doing. Could you come talk to our kids?" He was like, show them how hockey impacted your life and the things you've done in your career after that and how hockey's played a role, which that made perfect sense to me because as some of you know, hockey is a big part of my life. I've traveled the world to play it. I've made music videos about it. Haley, can you not, make noise? Just making her lunch. Who eats lunch in the middle of a YouTube video, honestly? So I hastily accepted. All right. My high school has invited me to come back and speak to the boys hockey team about life and hockey. And this is my cool sweatshirt I'm going to wear to impress them. Haley doesn't think I should wear it.
This is Haley. Hi.
Why don't you think I should wear this sweatshirt?
Just think you got some better outfits.
She doesn't know what she talk about. So yeah, I got all my camera stuff. I'm gonna film on the ice. I'm gonna skate around with them. But I'm also gonna show them some videos and talk to them about making stuff, and it should be cool. So let's go. Let us go together. All right, I'll be back.
Okay, bye, super cool guy.
Super cool guy. I'll be back at I don't know.
Cool backpack.
Thank you. Probably 4:30ish or something. I don't know. I got everything. I get a hat. With that said, and I can't understate this enough, I was anxious because if there's one thing we all know about kids, they are extremely judgmental. And I didn't want them to dumbass, like I was a dork. All right, so as you all know, I'm not the best hockey player. In fact, I'm not very good. So me going to talk to these hockey players is a little awkward. It's the varsity and the JV teams, and they're going to listen to me as I kind of chat with them about what it is that I do, my experiences playing hockey, and what they kind of taught me about life. I guess it's been very, very low key. The coach, Glenn Lang, oddly enough, was my coach back when I was in high school. I should back up. I played 1 year of organized high school hockey. My senior year, the JV team didn't have enough players, so a bunch of friends, we all joined up. And we were horrible. We were terrible, but it was the most fun I've ever had playing any kind of organized sports. It was just, I think there were 10 seniors on the team, and it was just a bunch of shenanigans and mayhem and all sorts of fun stuff. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to be late, which is unfortunate. What you going to do? So I put together a little kind of speech, and I also was like, "Hey, Glenn," that's the coach's name. Can I bring my GoPro and my drone and can I film and can I make a video? And he was like, "Absolutely. Plan on scrimmaging, bring your gear, we'll skate." So I headed out there to kind of talk to them about my life and how hockey played a role in it, but also to see if I could dangle some 17, 18-year-old kids, which I knew I was going to be able to because I'm bad at hockey, which I'll talk about now. I recorded the whole speech, but it was really long. I did talk about how hockey played a role in my life. I grew up in Minnesota. Everybody skates, everybody plays. I played for the first 4 years, 5 years, from like, it was called termites. I don't know, I think they're called mini mites now, to, I think I did 2 years of squirts, and I stopped. Everyone kept playing, all my friends kept playing. So they were all really good. My senior year of high school, our hockey team, the JV hockey team, could not field enough players. So a few friends of mine and I, we decided to join. We thought it would be funny, and there were like 8 seniors on the team. I was not very good. My 2 friends were even worse than I was. I mean, we were bad at hockey. I could skate backwards, so Coach Glenn had me centering a line with my 2 dumbass friends. And we were terrible, and we got smoked every game. We're getting crushed. We're playing maybe like 4 shifts a game, except one game where like half the team got suspended, so we ended up having to play like the whole game. It was remarkable.
Where's the heritage room?
But we were really bad. And the reason I told the kids that is because it was a dumb thing to do. Like my parents, I told them, they're like, this is stupid. Don't do this. But I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And it was dumb. But it ended up being the most fun I ever had. It was such a unique bonding experience. I mean, I still keep in touch with all those kids. And
Hey, what's up?
Good.
You play? You in the team?
Yeah.
Nice. What's your name?
Drew.
Drew O'Malley. Glenn, is Coach Lang here?
Not yet.
So you're early.
Yeah. We just got done with work, so I'll head over here.
Heard you guys had a rough go last night. What was the score?
What?
What was the score?
7-3.
All right, that's not.
I was the goalie, so
Oh, you were? Were you?
tough one.
Yeah. You got hung out to dry, I heard.
beyond that, that is what caused me to fall in love with hockey again. And after high school, I played club in college. After college, I joined a beer league, and I still play to this day. And I've traveled around the world to play hockey. It has influenced the kind of content I've made. I have all these stories, and I have all of this cool experience based on this sport, based on this one dumb decision I made. And that's what I told the kids. I was like, listen, it's hard to be a kid because everyone tells you what to do all the time, and there's a lot of pressure to do things right. But you shouldn't be focused on that. What you should be focused on is figuring out what you genuinely care about. What is it that brings you joy?
If there's two things you take away, it's this. The first is talking about this idea of legitimately and genuinely asking yourself what you care about and what interests you and what you find interesting. And then the second is this notion of risk-taking and doing what kind of freaks you out a bit.
Because the sooner you figure that out, the sooner you can start pursuing that and focusing solely on that thing and getting better at it, and stop worrying, if you're worried about being good or bad, it's inconsequential if you haven't figured out what you love to do. But once you figure out what you love to do and what brings you joy, then you can work at it and work at it and work at it and start to worry about, okay, am I good or bad at this thing? Am I making the right decisions? That's when you should start worrying. But it isn't until you figure out what brings you joy that you need to worry about that stuff. So get started now. And in the context of hockey, I told them, I was like, if you love to play hockey, pursue it. Push yourself out of your comfort zone in pursuit of it. But if you don't love hockey, that's totally fine. Ask yourself, what brings me joy? What am I interested in? Is it law? Is it physics? Is it social work? Do I want to be a stand-up comedian? I feel like we put too much pressure on young people to do well instead of putting pressure on them to figure out what they love. Because the pressure can come later. And the pressure is much easier to deal with when you're pursuing something that brings you joy. So that's what I told the kids. And I showed them some of my videos. They were very curious about the hockey in North Korea thing, so we watched that. Then we did some Q&A. They didn't really have a ton of questions. It turns out the reason they were so quiet is because they had just lost the night before in embarrassing fashion, and the coach was really pissed at them, so they were nervous that they were going to get what's called bag skated. And And that's basically where for 90 minutes you just skate. The whole practice is just lines or killers, or it's just, you know, not fun. And I made a joke about that, not knowing that they were very nervous. And when I told them that I was going to, then after the joke was like, no, I'm gonna scrimmage with you guys and I'm gonna film. They were like, what, scrimmage, ah! And they all got super excited, which was fun. That'll happen. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we'd love a scrimmage today.
Yeah, I don't know with the back skate, like how you want to do this.
Come on now. Let's not get carried away.
This is perfect timing.
Let's not get carried away with scrimmaging.
So I strapped on the gear. Well, first I flew my drone around. I crashed the drone. I filmed a bunch of stuff, realized I wasn't actually recording, so that sucked. I only got like 6 minutes of footage. They ran some drills. I kind of hung out in the locker room for a little bit with them. It was crazy being back in that locker room after so many years, because again, I had such a pleasant experience there. Like, I think of all of the dumb stuff we did in that locker room with my friends who are now grown adults with families. A lot of embarrassing things happened in that locker room, which I won't talk about. But yeah, it was just such an iconic memory of my kind of young adulthood. And to be back there was cool. And then I got to lace them up. Charlie went to both benches. He was like, all right, full check, boys.
Chipping this game now. Alright? So you know. Play the body, guys. Hey. Play the body. Especially you two. Play the body, alright? Go. Same pond hockey.
I remember turning to Glenn. I didn't have any pads on. I just had skates. I was like, Glenn, like, what do I need to be worried here?
I got Charlie calling for full check out there.
Huh?
Charlie is like, full check, boys, full check. Yeah.
You have that on?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do a shift or what?
Yeah, I mean, I have. They're playing full check now. You know,
No, they won't check that. Just go do a shift on this start team.
He was like, oh, they won't hit you. Don't worry.
Just tell them you want to go out and play D or something.
all right, boys, I'm going out with you guys.
So yeah, the scrimmage was comprised of JV and varsity players. And like, the reason I point that out, I have no business being on the ice with varsity Minnesota high school hockey players. And that's why I wanted to do this, because it was so much fun. I love skating with people who are vastly better than me.
All right. Here we go, baby. Here we go.
And it was a blast. And the kids were having so much fun. And they were chirping each other. And there were some big hits out there, some dangles. It was one of those things where, like, they clearly went easy on me. When I got the puck, like, the Red Sea parted, you know, everyone got out of the way. I still couldn't finish. And then Glenn gave me a hard time about that.
I love how everybody just parted. The Red Sea just parted. The glove got me. I'm bent. Ah.
But it was just, overall, what I found so enjoyable about the process was that it was just a moment to relive my childhood. It just brought back a ton of memories, and a ton of good memories at that. And I knew then the team was struggling, and the reason I wanted to tell them, like, hey, it's okay, and like, you're doing a good job, and focus on what you care about, because at the end of the day, you really can't control any kind of results. Results are typically outside of our control. What we can control is our effort. And if we care about something, we will naturally give more effort. So that was kind of the message I tried to impose upon them. And the kids were super awesome. They came up to me afterwards and they thanked me.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thanks, guys. Peace out. If you ever need anything, hit me up. Yeah, thanks for having me.
They didn't have to do that. I thought, you know, they could have been punk kids, but they were super respectful and nice and kind, and like really, I think, excited and encouraged. And it was fun to be around that energy. And at the end of the scrimmage, they all got together, and I could see that one of them was giving a pep talk. And I would like to think that they were kind of felt reinvigorated a bit, and maybe they were saying to each other like, hey guys, we can do this. Let's get focused, get our minds right. I don't know what they said in the huddle, but their energy was up. And they won their next game. They won the next game that they played. They then went on to lose many, many other games, but they won that one game. I thought about texting Glenn and be like, hey, winning streak? No, they only won one. But it was really cool to go back, and I always enjoy speaking to young people because all of the things that they're passionate about, whether that's being a fishing guide or being a pro hockey player or developing a cure for diabetes, or I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I hope they have the strength and the courage to pursue it. And the resiliency to deal with the highs and the lows that is the onslaught of life. So thank you for this. I have a much shorter version of this video if you want to check it out. As always, please leave a comment. A couple of you do, and I always love to read them. You can ask me a question. It doesn't even have to be about this video. It's just always nice to hear from you, and I appreciate all your support. I'm going to eat a pizza now. I think it's lunchtime. Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, McLean! They're so fast.
Got some wheels.
They're so fast these days.